Hi everyone, it's Ellen Jaffe Jones. I'm just back from a walk. I gotta go to work, so we're doing this on the fly, not dressing up or doing anything fancy for you other than doing a video I've been wanting to do forever. Which is better, Blendtec, the 800, or Vitamix, the quiet one? Of course, I have them both. In fact, I even have yet another Vitamix, the Ascent series, when I just want to throw things in a hurry and don't care if I destroy my hearing. No, it really doesn't do that. But, you know, these are the two state-of-the-art, almost commercial, professional blenders. And having been a Food for Life cooking instructor for Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine for a number of years before my 6 vegan cookbooks came out, this has been my passion of trying to try out different devices and see what works, because I know all of this is cheaper than a heart bypass surgery, which costs either you, me, the government, $100,000 just for entry-level bypasses. So I have a little baby ninja here when I'm really just wanting to do a little smoothie. But I'm gonna try them both today, kind of on the fly. Like I said, I'm in a hurry, but this is the smoothie that I usually make on a daily basis, and I just wanted to do use both of these and see what you think. There are different ways to evaluate them. You know, Blendtec has all of these close-up icons here that help you determine, like, this is a whisk, so that's an easy blend, a sorbet here, a smoothie, ice cream, salsa, and a soup. So, you know, just looking at it, it's very user-friendly. You know, the numbers here on the quiet one, you have to remember what these are. And really, they're just, the way it works is these are in sequence just by time. So the one is actually, I believe, a shorter term of blending, and the 6 is more a smoothie blending, but only like for 30 to 60 seconds. I think it's 60 seconds. So you just have to remember that all in your head versus the more intuitive display. Oopsie. We'll just stop that. Okay. X out of that. So very, as you can see, very sensitive to the touch. All right, let's start with, and the smoothies that I use that I like to make are out of Dr. Brooke Goldner's Goodbye Lupus book, but certainly I have smoothie recipes in my own cookbooks. And I'm just being, like, literally very raw here. I've got the COVID-19 going on here, so what are you going to do? All right, I'm using, and I keep these in the freezer. I'm going to use a ½ cup of hemp hearts. I'm out of chia seeds, but I'm using the hemp because that's a good source of protein. But mainly I want to use, to keep my psoriatic arthritis symptoms non-existent, I like to use the whole flaxseed and grind that first every day. So I'm going to make 2 batches here. And I did want to show you, you know, I like to keep my smoothies when I make them in glass jars, and I swear, you know, that's Princess here who's just run around the house like crazy this morning, so she's out of gas. But I don't know if she's taken off with the lids of these things. Do you guys find you have this problem too? I have all these wonderful glass jars, and then, you know, I take them to work or wherever, and the lids just disappear. So we're down to using the Vitamix. Now, that is a nice thing about Vitamix. They send you these nice glass or plastic containers to put the smoothies in. So it's, you know, it's a little more convenient, but, you know, I don't think that should be a reason for you buying a blender, because you can pick these up anywhere and put your smoothie in anything. All right, so we've got both the flax seeds and the hemp hearts ready to go. And, you know, we'll put the lids on here and then just blend these up. All right, so I'm going to put this on 6 on the blend of the Vitamix, and it'll pick up in a second. And it's showing a countdown here, and now it's ramping it up. So a moment of silence. I ran the Blendtec and put it on the highest speed, and you can control it manually on the slider bar, but as you can see, it didn't quite grind up the seeds as well as the Vitamix. Just a minor thing. All right, next we are going to put in, take the lids off. This is the one thing about the Vitamix, this lid kind of can come down on you. I've had that happen a couple of times, not a huge deal. And what's nice about the Blendtec is it tells you how, I mean, you can find this online too, but just in case you forget how to stack things in there. So first we're going with liquids. Now, I did do the seeds first. I'm not going to take them out. I'm just going to add the water next. And then solids, that would be our greens. And the frozen bananas will come last. It kind of weights it down. You think of the heavier things going on top to compress it. And then the easier things on the bottom. Now I'm using the rest of my spinach, most of the, I think I'll call it that. I'm trying to put in equal parts. And we're using the kale, which is, you know, I bought this like 4 days ago. I was really meaning to do this video a lot sooner, but of course life happens. And as I shoot this, we're getting ready to have a tropical storm in the next few days, so life is getting crazy. But I am going to use the rest of the kale in here. A lot of good calcium and other beneficial reasons to be eating lots of kale. And we'll toss this over here. And then next will be the frozen bananas. I've been letting them sit out a little bit so they're easier to use. And basically the idea here is you use as much, whatever it takes to make the medicine go down. So sometimes I'll use 2 bananas, sometimes I'll use 3, but I want to make sure we're doing equal parts here. Okay, so 1 banana in each. Now we have 2 bananas in each. And I'm using a little bit fewer greens in each smoothie because I'm making 2 just for the purpose of our demonstration. All right, so that's it. And if I don't have enough water, I will add some to that. And we close the tops. And let's try the Vitamix first. Oops. Oh, cardinal rule number 1, and I've done this. Thank goodness it was on the low speed. But because I'm multitasking here, I forgot to put the lids back on. And, you know, that will make a huge mess that will take you days to clean up if you forget to do that. So let's put it on both. And see, you learn from my mistakes. Here we go. So I'm putting it on the blender setting here, which is 6. So we finished blending, and as you can see, Vitamix does a usually pretty good job, but the seeds are a little stuck on the bottom, and usually I have to go in at this point and use a spatula to get that removed or blended in. We'll do it a second time, but first let's do the Blendtec. Now I had the slider function on, and now I'm going to go to the different icons, and we'll go for the blender here, smoothie. You can see this is a little bit quieter, I think. Yeah. Even at the high speed, I'm still talking pretty well over it. It's running for 60 seconds. The Blendtec is finished, and you can see too, even with that wild side, which is the 5th side of the container, and you know, that's supposed to make it not necessary to use a tamper to get this all blended. But so you know, that just sometimes happens when you use seeds, and especially I didn't go in and mix them up after I had finished blending just the seeds. So you can see how it looks. And you know, I was using a fair amount of liquid here, so there wasn't the difficulty sometimes that you have with thicker containers or thicker ingredients or consistency to. Now I just saw that was the Blendtec. There was a little piece of banana that wasn't quite blended. I'm sorry, did I say Blendtec? I mean, that's the Vitamix here. So. And now let's pour up the Blendtec. And again, this is just for the sake of demonstration. You can certainly go in and blend it for a second round And I'm not seeing any chunks of bananas, so it was fully blended in the Blendtec. Now, a few more air bubbles, I think, in the Blendtec. I don't know really what that means other than, they're both pretty well blended. Oh, good. Sometimes if you let the greens wait too long, they get kind of smelly and stinky, and you think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat these, but these are okay. Now, I will say the Vitamix does seem to have a thicker, creamier consistency, but they're both really close. I love them, and I kind of rotate them in and out. The other advantages, and let's talk about this, and the big advantage to the Blendtec, and if you're a Blendtec fan, you know this is a much easier container to clean because it's wide open on the bottom versus the Vitamix. They've tried to copy it a little bit, but you really got to get your hand down in there, and sometimes you can end up with a little nick or two on your fingers. They've perfected this. They've improved it a lot better. In fact, there was a lawsuit over this whole wild side thing that Blendtec invented, and that is this fifth angle here, which basically makes what's ever inside hit yet another side that breaks it down, or that's the way they market it. And yet, Vitamix has come up with its own way of doing this. So the lawsuit, I don't know how the lawsuit ended up, but I do remember reading that Blendtec actually won that. But more than that, you can Google it. At any rate, which is better? You kind of have to decide. I think they're both great. At the moment, I'm just feeling like I want to hang out with my Blendtec because it's a little quieter, and I'm in a hurry these days with my work schedule, so it's just kind of fun to use the different icons that are more intuitive and easy to see, and you're on your way. All right, everyone, I hope that was helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see me test out, I am happy to do so. Just drop it in the comments below, and I'm happy to help you in any way I can. All right, everyone, got to run. Hope you have a great weekend.